Okay, I gotta say, V2, worst update I think I've ever played. So, today's video is gonna be a bit different than normal. We're not doing guides today, we're not doing reviews or strategies. Today, I want to have a bit more of a serious conversation about Outcome Memories version 2. V2 or V2.0, or whatever you want to call it, I think is probably the worst update to a Roblox game I have ever seen. And I have played quite a few aysm games. Some popular, some not. And I gotta say, out of all those aysm games, I don't think not a single one of them is perfect or anything like that. But I think some of them do get the balancing a bit better for killers and survivors. Outcome Memories has originally kind of been a survivor-based game, so obviously when it became more killer-based, people were going to complain from the survivor side, but I wasn't. I was like, okay, cool, killer can be fun. Because in V1, I actually played EXE. But in V2, EXE is either the most boring thing ever, or you get dog-walked. And Survivors is like the same as V1, or something slightly different, but it still kind of sucks anyways. My problem with V2, Tripwire. I think she's the elephant in the room that we got to get out of here immediately. Tripwire, way too OP. Her strat is just kill someone, place 8 mines around their body, wait for someone to step on mines, success. Does it work? Yeah. Is it fun to play against? No. There's not much you can do against her mines. You can disable them as Tails, Amy's, Silver, Eggman, and Blaze. But keep in mind, as Blaze, she's only really good for disabling, and Amy. But nobody really plays Amy anymore, because she's not very good in V2, she's not good against new killers, and she gets eaten up by Colossus, which I'll talk about in a minute. Another problem I have is Tails. Tails can disable Tripwire's mines, which may think he's a good counter. The problem is, alright guys, I use my stun that I have to wait 30 seconds for it to actually, be ready, and then I have to wait 50 seconds to charge up. So I have to wait 45 seconds before I can stun the killer, and then I'll use it just to disable some mines. Really? That's what you want to be doing as Tails? I mean, sure, you can try to get the kill in your mines in your same shot, but that's kind of hard to pull off. And ideally, it's ideal, but it's not happening often. It really isn't. Amy, like I said, not a lot of people play her. I've tried to play her V2, she's not bad, but against the new killers, she can't do much. And her cards have stayed the same. They didn't add any new ones, which I felt like they really should have added some new cards to make the character feel a little bit more fresh or play differently. Maybe even gotten rid of some or just changed the cards in general. Nope, they kept them the complete same, so you can still get Sun Emperor and generally be unkillable for the most part. But even with Sun Emperor, you're not going to do much against Tripwire, who's just going to place a bunch of bombs around you and go for your damage resistance for some reason. Because her damage is at a fixed rate. So Tripwire's reach out, that goes through all resistances, even LMS resistance. It deals 5 damage, I think, every 2 seconds, no matter the circumstance. It goes through shield, and it goes through drop dash, or drop meter, whatever the frick's called. I don't know why it does. I think that's a little OP. They shadow nerfed her, so now if you stun her, you don't get nuked. But beforehand, you did, which I had a problem with, because I think that was very unfair. I'm glad they changed it to where now if you stun her, you just stun her, but it's still stupid, to be honest, that she gets a shield during her stun. Now if you stun her, I think you still take knockback, so if you hit her with only like a small 1 second stun, she's just going to get up and instantly attack you. So another problem I have with Tripwire is she doesn't seem very fun to play. I've played her, she's not very fun. You really just spam bombs. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself here, but that's literally her entire playthrough. You just spam bombs. It's boring. Does it work? Yeah, but it's boring. And it's definitely not fun to play against. Oh man, my teammate's down. Let me go rest Cream. Oh, I can't because I'm playing Knuckles. And if I do, I'm just going to get bombed. And even if I have my punch charged up, I'm still going to get bombed. Guess I just will sit in the corner and emote and hope someone else got that. Gotta hope our Eggman has his shield off cooldown. Keep in mind, she can still go do something else. So she can just place 8 bombs around Cream or just by the hallways. Go attack other people. Oh, but you can crawl away from the bombs. Yeah, true, but if she puts them in specific spots, not directly on the survivor, but let's say nearby, let's say you die in a hallway with only 2 ways out. Just place them on those 2 ways. And you can't say, oh, but there's a lot of spots like that on You Can't Run. Even on Green Hill, there's some just long hallways or long tunnels. There's a lot of spots in the game that are just hallway with a couple different exits to it. Maybe 1 or 2. Which has me going into my next topic, map design. Listen, I get Boneley's trying his best, but my god, dude, go watch some videos. Go maybe to a class or something about map design. Because clearly, he has no idea what he's doing. I'm sorry. The first maps we ever got, You Can't Run. Pretty fire map, 90% of it goes underused, but pretty cool map. And what I mean by 90% is like, you do go in a lot of the hallways occasionally. My correction. You go in the hallways occasionally and You Can't Run. Like, that big, I want to say, like, leftist side of the map, or I guess right side, with, like, the, like, little chemical beakers that you can jump on. That's really good for, like, that Eggman looping spot. And where Tripwire is, or where sometimes you'll spawn in. That location with the basement that has an exit, that spot, you barely go in. You occasionally go in there to get a quick loop off as Eggman or Silver, but not a lot of people go there anymore. Because it's better to stay out the open area where everyone else is. It's a very niche spot that not a lot of characters use. And I feel like that's the entirety of the map. There's a lot of niche spots that you occasionally go into. Like, you might spawn in there and maybe loop around there occasionally, but you don't spend most of your time there. You don't do anything there, really. You just stay in the giant area where Tails will be up on his perch. Silver will also be up on that perch. Knuckles will just be waiting to glide and slam down. Eggman will be in a looping spot, and everyone will just be in offensive positions the entire time. It's not very fun to play as Survivor, because I think the map is just boring to play on. It's like, come on, guys. You had the chance to make You Can't Run a really interesting map, or something unique. And, like, the doors are cool. The problem is, if you open a door, it only opens visually for you. For some reason. And they're literally just there to be a visual nuisance. That's it. They don't like, oh, you can keep it closed, or you can temporarily close on doors, or there's like a camera system. No, there's none of that. I've played, I think it's Continued Disaster Eclipsed. They have on, I think their version of You Can't Run, there's a camera system, and you can like use these lasers to cut off certain doors and exits. That's cool, because that means you can actually help out your team, even if you're only playing a character like Cream, who can't stun. You can still be on cams and healing people occasionally, and then like, ooh, I can block off this door, just keep track of the EXE. It makes the map a bit more engaging for characters who can't do as much. And plus, it's just a cool feature. They don't have anything like that. They have 80 seconds or less, which happens, what? Oh yeah, at the 80-second clock, so like for a small portion of the match, which doesn't usually last long. Most time it's 80 seconds is active. You're in that last 80 seconds or less for like 20 seconds. The ring spawns in, and most people get in there in like 20 to 30 seconds. It only goes on longer if you are super, super far away from the ring. Which, like, that would never happen, guys, because most maps are close together, right, guys? Oh, wait, I forgot about Green Hill. Green Hill. This map is terrible. This is what I'm talking about when I mean Bonely has terrible map designs. What are you telling me that let's design a cool, fun map that is Green Hill, right? Let's take all the issues of Green Hill. It's kind of open, doesn't have a lot of good looping spots, and it's not very fun to play on, it's boring to look at and such. And let's amplify that by 20. What the actual heck, Bonely? The map, gargantuan. It's way too big. The water section is literally pointless. Oh, but you go in the water section. Yeah, I do go in the water section. Everyone does. But do you actually stay in there? The whole gimmick is, if you stand there for too long, you're drowned. You're never going to be in there long enough to drown. I'm sorry. I'm not. No one is ever going to be staying there for 40 seconds underwater and then die. That's just not happening. Because first off, most people know about the mechanics, so you're not going to stand there. And also, the EXE is not even going to be able to trap you underwater for 40 seconds. Even Tripwire, because she can't bomb the entire underwater section. There's two exits. One which you can go up, which is a spring, and the other which is like the back-end entrance. And the back-end entrance is too wide for her to really place down enough bombs. It's not realistic. So, it's really hard to drown under there. And well, yes, can you drown under there? Yeah, I've done it like once by accident. But most times, you're not. I'm not saying they should shorten the timer or anything like that, but maybe make it to where like you're slower while moving there, or you can like swim or something. Or maybe just remove it altogether and just cut off that section. Because it's a section that, yet again, doesn't get used very often. It's just kind of pointless, and it's just for visuals, I guess. Hey, you want to make the game laggier? Sure, let's put in this giant useless water section that you go in, but doesn't actually affect gameplay. Just remove the water at that point, dog. It's just pure aesthetic. And I gotta say, hey, the lighting, knocked out of the park. One of, honestly, the most beautiful lighting I think I've ever seen in Alpha Memories. The lighting before you see the EXE is great. The cool sun shining through. It really makes you feel like you're playing on a Sonic map. And then the moment the EXE shows up, a giant fart cloud of smoke appears, and now you can't see anything. The point is like, oh, the map's so dark and gloomy now. Yeah, I get that's the point. But it still looks bad, I'm gonna be honest. I much prefer the map, even as execution when you spawn in. You can play on the map with just the normal lighting. You don't need the giant fart smoke cloud. So why is it even there? you know, outside of it just being there to annoy people, I guess. But like, it just ruins the entire aesthetic of the map and takes the nice, beautiful lighting away. You see the nice, beautiful lighting for like 30 seconds, EXE shows up, and now you play with dark smoke cloud, which just makes it harder to see for everyone. It serves no purpose outside of just making it harder to see for everyone, which I guess is a purpose, but it's not a very helpful one. And my other problem with the map is it's so freaking big, it takes like 30 seconds to get to people as EXE. The Colossus, you have to locate people, and then you have to climb up some walls. You want to know something funny? There's a lot of walls in these maps that Colossus just can't climb up, or that when he does, it bugs out. Because I just played a match before recording this. I just played a match like a couple minutes ago with my buddy. We were playing on Green Hill. I go to climb up a wall's Colossus. I can't. I climb up and then stop because there's like a weird like ridge thingy or collision box. So I just can't climb up. So I go to another wall. The same thing happens like 3 times in a row in the water section. Because I spawn all the way back. So I'm like, okay, I'll jump here, go into the water section, climb up this wall. I can't. Climb this wall. I spend like 20 seconds just trying to get to people. Then I can finally climb a wall, take another 10 seconds to even get there. And voila, I can get there. Oh, but gold, what if you just don't use your cooldowns? What if you use your cooldowns and use your charge? Does that help? A little bit. But that means you're literally out of a cooldown just to get to people. And you may be saying, well, 2111X did that with his invis. Yeah, but 2111X's invis is like, what, a 15-second cooldown? It's not very long. And not to mention, you can surprise attack people. It's way better than wasting his charge, which is far more crucial than 2111X's invisibility. I can't speak, bro. My other problem is, due to the fact the map is so big, you waste a lot of time on both sides. If someone's down, you waste a lot of time getting over there. If someone's over in his cheesy spot, you waste a lot of time getting over there as EXE. It's not a good map for either team. I'm sorry. And it's 80 seconds left of the lightning is just annoying. I'm sorry. It either gives EXE rage sometimes if there's a 2111X, or it just annoys the EXE, which I get the whole point of the... I'm not sure. Let me rephrase this up. What is the point of the 80 seconds left? Is it supposed to be cinematic, or is it just supposed to be like, you're on a time crunch now? Because if it's supposed to be cinematic, it really isn't. Having lightning strike, that's just annoying more than anything. Like, I'm sorry. Oh, yes, guys. The most cinematic thing, lightning striking you and killing you before you get to the ring. Is it funny? Yeah, for literally everyone but the person it happens to. It's just annoying, if anything. I think instead of having the lightning, the map should just flood. Because it would be much more interesting to make that water section actually relevant. Like, hey, last 80 seconds, the entire map starts slowly flooding. And now it's harder to traverse. Everyone has that like weird slippery thing that Metal and Sonic have. Everyone has that now. It's slippery for everyone. And as the match goes on, there's water which can slow people down. Executioner and Survivor. And then eventually you can just drown it. Just slowly flood the map. That would be cool. You could even have an effect where like the waterfall breaks free or something like that. Break free. No, I'm just kidding. But literally it would be cooler for the map to just flood versus the lightning. The lightning is not cinematic at all. It's just annoying, if anything. And the original Green Hill had it. And I didn't like the original Green Hill because of that feature. Of anything, it would just give John rage mode his rage, and then he would just John all over you. So moving on, and talking about something slightly positive. Silver and Blaze. You thought I was going to say Silver and Golden. No, it's past Christmas, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. So, Silver and Blaze, what are their problem? They don't really have one. They actually kind of knocked out of the park with Blaze. I know I think some people have made videos or claims saying that, oh, Blaze is underpowered or she's not good. Loki, I play Blaze. I have fun as Blaze. Her emotes are funny. Her cosmetics look good. She doesn't have a lot, but I rock that Plague Doctor all the time. Dope. And her kick is really good. It's balanced. You either get a nice boost for verticality or just a ragdoll kick, which if you miss, is kind of funny. Or if you hit, it's really good because it gives you your meter. And it's just a good stun. It's a solid good stun. It's like Knuckles' punch. It's a good stun with some altercation to it. It's very good. If somebody's in the air, you can try to hit them. And if you have soul meter, you can fly around with it. Overall, just a very good move. I don't think there's much problem with it. Her spear. It's kind of 50-50. The soul flame is much better for keeping people at bay. When like Colossus is charging at you, you can just like push them away with it. It's really funny. Her spear itself, it's not great. Its hitbox is kind of clunky, but it's not bad either. And when you hit it, it really does help. When you're walking down like a long hallway and you just chuck at the EXE, gets sent all the way back. It's honestly just a good move. I think they actually did well at Blaze, and I think the characterization worked. I feel like Blaze is the type of character that would use her powers in this way. Making constructs and just flamethrowers when needed, and then also just using melee hits. Honestly, I think they did a really, really good job with Blaze. Good job, Dev Team. Silver, on the other hand, They did incorporate his time travel thing, which they didn't have to, but they did. Makes sense. I mean, he is a time traveler after all, and I don't see many games incorporating that to him. My only problem is, like, the time travel thing he does have is kind of useless. You could say it's no use. I'm sorry. I think my problem when it comes down to his time travel thing is, if you get hit, it cancels it, and it's very predictable. If I'm EXE and I see someone using it and I'm playing Tripwire, I'm just going to place a bomb there. If I'm literally anyone, I'm just going to wait and attack him immediately. I think you can cancel it, but I don't know how, because anytime I try to, it doesn't work. So I'm not sure if you can, or if it's only if your bar just runs out or something. I don't know. I think you can cancel it. Maybe not. Correct me if I'm wrong. Say something in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe to this video if you want to see some more Outcome Memories content. Self-plug. Anyways, another thing I have with Silver is his grab suspension. That's what it's called. It's really mid. You can grab people with it, which is helpful for stun wise. Well, actually, correction, it's not mid. I think people that use it are mid. I see a lot of Silver players grab someone and instantly toss them. It's much better just to hold them in place when you have max bar, because first off, you can just hold them for a little bit longer, and also it allows people to get stuns off. I love this synergy as a Silver when I hold someone in place and then Metal gets off a free stun. It's great synergy. Is it annoying as EXE? Yeah, because it is kind of annoying to break free, especially on like console and I think mobile. But on PC, it's not too hard. You kind of just mash your space button until it's kind of just gone. But overall, I think it's a balanced out move. I think its cooldown could be longer. I think its cooldown's a little too short. If you miss it, it's only 3 seconds. So you could actually just hold it, fire, and then you immediately use it again. Kind of busted tech. Little tech for y'all. But yeah, I think that could use some fixing. But outside of his cooldowns, I think it's generally balanced. His fight is annoying, though I'm glad they reverted it, because I remember when they nerfed it for like a day or two, and it was the most garbage thing ever. Like, it was trash. The character was unplayable. So I'm glad they reverted that. Speaking of reverting things, excuse me. This kind of brings me into the other problem I want to address. This video was not just going to be criticizing kind of the update, but I want to talk about the dev team. Like I said earlier in this video, or at least I think I did. If I didn't, disclaimer now. I'm not trying to harass the devs, but the dev team needs to lock in. We have multiple clips and photos. I'll probably pull them up on screen. If not, if you're a part of Discord, check them out for yourself. Of developers just saying random communication stuff. Sobi, literally, somebody, I'm not sure who it was exactly who said it, but one of the devs said they nerfed Silver, right? And then, like a day later, or like a couple hours later, Sobi reverted the changes and stating that they had no idea who did that. Bro, what do you mean? You're like the lead. Don't you own the game? Aren't you like the lead dude? If not one of the lead dudes, like, how do you not know this? On top of the fact that they've already stated before that they have bad communication skills. So that's obviously a big problem. If the devs can't communicate well with each other, then it's just going to drag the game down. Because certain people are going to be nerfing characters or buffing characters, and other people won't want that. And it's going to cause clashes within the dev team, and also just general confusion on why certain characters are buffed and debuffed. Like, certain developers may wake up to people screaming at them saying, oh, this character's way too powerful, even though just last night they were perfectly balanced. They're going to be really confused and probably like, hey, why did you buff that character? I don't think it's good. Bad communication is just always bad, hence the name. I think the dev team can work past this. I think it's one of the issues that will be resolved. They've even said that they want to resolve this, so I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue as some other topics I'm going to dive into. But overall, I think the communication thing will definitely be solved. The next issue, the controversies. Not to sound like you're run-of-the-mill, oh, this guy was a pedophile, because no one was. But, not to sound like you're run-of-the-mill, X got into X controversy, did X thing, or this guy was a part of a scam, or he invented a cryptocurrency. But there were a few controversies last year, even though it's been like 2 days. Or at least that's how I'm recording. Which are, I guess you could say the Romeo incident, PR, and the recent EXE 2017X, Faker. For 2017X and EXE, I did like these characters, and I did hear, I'm not sure if it was official or not. I saw it on SoundCloud. I forgot if it was official, but it was a chase theme for 2017. Editing gold here. I don't think it's official. I didn't see anything saying the audio was official. Side note, the audio here kind of got fried. I think it's because I alt-tabbed or something like that, so it kind of got fried. Sorry about that. Faker was an EXE I kind of wanted in the game. I don't care. I'm not like, oh yeah, let's go guys, Faker. I'm not the huge Faker fan, right? I like Lord X more anyways. But I do appreciate Faker for what Faker is. They have lore ties. He, I guess, I don't know, has lore ties to Lord X, and overall, it's just, I think, a unique character. And plus, it's just cool. To me, it's more like Lord X's Metal Sonic being like their kind of greatest failure and creation type thing, if that makes any sense. But I think Faker's cool, and yet again, you could have done something with the Beast form. You could have made Faker have like their base attacks being like just like Sonic's moves, so like spin dash and like a peel out where like he attacks people or something, and then his Beast form be like uber strong or something like that. You could just like, I mean, they have Pillar Chase Faker, which you could have made play something somewhat akin to that, not exactly, but akin. And then for 2017X, you could have just literally made him play like Sonic, but he's deep. Like his peel out just grabs it. I saw this on, I think, Reddit. I'm not sure who said this, but you could make him have like a peel out that he grabs someone, like drags them across the floor with, and then just have him have a drop dash. And then his other moves could have just been like an indicator or something else like Sonic does, like light speed dash, or like he throws a ring at you, but it's like a red ring, so it deals damage.
Hey guys, editing gold again. Forgot about his broken face form. For that, to just touch on that quickly, that could probably just play like a tankier, beefy version or something akin to EXE. I can see maybe why they're moving them, since we both kind of have their normal forms and broken face, but there's also other reasons as well. But I think Faker, or my bad, 2017X could have had a broken face form, where if he takes enough damage or gets stunned enough, he gets really enraged or something like that, similar to our good boy John Rage mode. But that's all I want to say here. Forgot to mention that time.
You could do a lot of things. I think Faker and EXE could have had unique movesets. There's already tons of concepts for it, but it does suck to see them go. I would have liked them. But it's not devastating. I do think the fact that they said they're not really going to be replacing them, so instead of having 19 executioners, we're going down to 17 executioners, it's kind of annoying, but yet again, not devastating, and plus there's other people, and we may get someone else like Fatal Era eventually, maybe, I don't know. Moving on, there was the Romeo incidents. I'm not going to say too much about this, because on one hand, I don't like Romeo that much, considering what he said about the community, though on the other hand, I can kind of see where the guy's coming from. I think my only problems with Romeo is that he was a little rude to the community and was just pretty much flexing how he earns money, which, one, I think might cause a problem in the future, because as far as I know, Sega's fine with fan games, although they'll make money. And Romeo's making money off said fan game, or I guess off fan project, so I'm not really sure how that works. I don't think they care too much, but you never know. Anyways, I think doing a ban spread on your community and saying they're rude is kind of cringe, not gonna lie. But I think he's probably working towards being better. And he does own Furnace and Starve too, so I mean, I kind of just like his characters. I think he glazes them too much. Like, I feel like they would work better if they had HP bars, because they're like the weakest EXEs. Like, you're really telling me a slightly weaker Super Sonic has an HP bar, but literal off-brand Metal Sonic and Hungry Eggman don't? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. But I get it, he's part of the dev team, he kind of wants to buff up his character, whatever. I'm not too hard pressed about that. I just hope they're fun. They have Double Trouble, so I'm kind of intrigued to see how they play. I really hope there's voice lines with Furnace and Metal, and they can clash and stuff. I think that'd be cool. As for the PR incident, I'm not going to say too much about this either, because of anything, I'm not really trying to spread hate. I think there's already been a lot said by other people. I think Mr. Domingo made a video on it, and some other people, and then people on Reddit were talking about it, and I think there was some Twitter posts. So there's a lot of chatter about this, and this is a bit old. All I gotta say is my condolences go out to PR. I hope bro gets better. Sag, you know, just sorry, bro. Sucks that happened to you. Yeah, overall, it wasn't a great situation for anyone involved, but I think everyone can learn from that. So, like I said, not too hard pressed over that either. Didn't have anything to do with it. My next thing, though, the maps. I talked about Green Hill just a little bit earlier. Okay, Mystic Cavern and Angel Island, or like if you were to pull my teeth using uranium, it would hurt a lot and would probably damage me. I hate Angel Island. When this map came out, it sucked because collision mania and because of this lag. It's still laggy for a lot of people. A lot of people report bad frame rates on this map. I've seen a lot of posts, and I've seen even videos talking about this, other rant videos and such. Just bad frame rate. When I play on this map, my frames kind of dip. I'm not sure that's because I'm playing on a laptop, or that's just because it dips, but my laptop can run other games without frame rating, so I'm gonna play more on the map. Anyways, I do have problems with the frame rate dipping. I think the map could use some rearranging. Like, the Master Emerald feels like an offshoot path. Like, There's the Master Emerald, and then there's like the ruins in the like upper area, and then there's like the main area of all the torches. It kind of feels weird on what they were going for here. I think it would have been better just to make the Master Emerald like Angeline's just like the big old Master Emerald, and then there's like more of the map of like some mountain hilly stuff. Maybe just make it look something more akin to like what it's been what it's been depicted by, because what the Master Emerald's always been depicted. I can't speak. It's always looked like it's by itself and all the mountains are like away from it. So having all the mountains right next to the Master Emerald just makes it feel more cramped. And I don't know, it just kind of loses its aura. Overall, it's a good map though. I think it's gotten fixed now since it came out, so there's no more collision. And I think the lag thing's kind of annoying, but they'll probably fix that too in the hotfix. So overall, it's not a terrible map. I just don't like the annoying P stain filter over it. It's just really, really bad. I don't get why they always put filters over like everything. It's like in like the 2000s when like movies found out they could put like color grading on their films and whatnot. So everyone started like, anytime there was like a Western or like Mexican film, they always put like freaking like this orange thing over like a yellow tint. It's very off-putting. I don't like it. It just kind of ruins the visuals of the map. But overall, not a bad map. Definitely not a bad map. Knuckles Manx, rise up! Then there is Mystic Cavern. Not a bad map either. Well, and it's kind of bad. It's a good map for pretty much everyone that has horizontal movements. Or vertical, I don't know. I forgot. But pretty much everyone that has like Tripwire, Silver, Eggman, kind of sort of Blaze, Cream and Knuckles. All those characters are good because they can double jump, glide, or can just get up higher. Sonic, bro, gets slaughtered. He has to walk his sorry butt all over the place. Same thing with Amy. Well, I mean, she has the hammer jump though. It's kind of hard to angle. But like Metal, they have to walk all around the map, especially on certain ring spawns. So it's not a bad map for them, but it's not great either. Same thing with Twin Live Next. It's not, well, I mean, it's a little bit better since it's teleportation and its charge. It's pretty good for Tripwire. It's okay for Colossus. I feel like it's a bit buggy on collision wise. I know they fixed some of the invis spots you get glitched in, but I still think there's a good amount of them. Overall, it's definitely not a bad map, but could use some polishing. I feel like this is one of the maps where you actually utilize a bit more. Like, I walk around this map a bit more. I see people hiding in a lot of different spots versus other maps where you just, like, cramp all together. So, not a bad map. I think that's all of them, right? Mystic Cavern. Yeah, so that's all the new maps. I'm still waiting for Not Perfect. I think they should have just kept it in rotation and then taken it out when when it was about to release or like closer to release, because taking it out now, it's like we're 3 weeks, we have no news on the hotfix. You should have just kept it in. Unless they couldn't have kept it in because they had to like update or something, but I don't think that's true. I think they should have just kept it in. Like Green Hill was kept in up until V2. They should have just done the same with Not Perfect. It was kind of a bad map. Kind of. Like, I like the visuals. I think it has some of the better visuals, and the annoying filter only came out in the last 80 seconds plus, and it wasn't as prominent. It wasn't like a fog. It was more so just a grayscale that was affected everything. So I didn't mind it as much as the other filters. Overall, I think it was a pretty good map. I think falling off was annoying, but you could just disable the void damage, I think, and then that would fix most of the issues. I think it had a good layout. I think it was one of the better maps. I think You Can't Run and Not Perfect are pretty fun to play on. Hot take maybe there, I don't know. I think they were pretty fun to play on, and I enjoy those maps too. So, the last thing I want to talk about is Memories Future and a lot of bugs. This update, as I said previously, is really, really buggy. There's a lot of glitchy collision spots, stuff you can clip into, jank hitboxes. Colossus has a skin, his forest skin, and I'm pretty sure it raises his stun hitbox a little bit. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn I read something about that. It also just feels like I think Colossus' hitbox may not be accurate because it like shrinks his arm a little. So his arm, instead of being bigger, is like smaller. So it looks smaller visually, even though its hitbox is the same. So it throws people for a loop when trying to counter it. So that should probably be fixed. For the future of Memories, I think a lot of people are saying, oh, the game's gonna die, it's over. Got a bit of a doomer moment. I think people may lose interest in the game for a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna die. I think it's kind of, not to compare it to Forsaken, but in the sense of like, there's always stuff that happens with stuff like Forsaken or Pillar Chase and whatnot. Somebody gets removed or something happens about a dev. People move on and keep playing the game. I think that will happen out of Memories. I think some things will go about the devs. I think some things about the game will come out and people will complain. But overall, I think people move on and the game will be good to play. As for V3 and further, I don't know what's entailed for V3. I know there's been a lot of showcases of Furnace, but they did say he's not coming till like V4 or later, because Horn Romeo said something about it on like Twitter. I think V3 is definitely going to have Team Dark. They've shown off all the remodels for the characters and voice lines for Omega, or like, I'm not sure it's concept, but just voice lines in general. I think there's going to be Team Dark in V3 for sure, and I think we're going to get Lord.EXE because we've seen a lot more of Lord.EXE than we ever did before him. So I think his charge and his version of God's trickery. So I think we're going to see Lord.EXE and Team Dark in V3. I'm very excited for V3 and the future of OM. I will probably not make a lot more content until the hotfix. There may be one more guide coming out, maybe not. I was thinking about trying out some other games as well on Roblox, maybe just shifting more to aysm. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next. And I really hope you all enjoyed today's video. And to say a couple words, Happy New Year, everyone. I'm a bit late, and I hope everyone watching this just has a really good year. 2026 is going to be good, guys. We're getting a bunch of good games. We're getting a bunch of good content. You're going to see me make a bunch of good content now that my channel is a bit more up and running. And I really hope you all enjoy. But I think that's going to cut it for today's video. Gold out.